When it comes to one-year-old Mariah Cartavius, you are not.
Space, the final frontier. It's 5 years.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
He's on first.
Let's begin now.
Are you ready? Happy Monday, everybody. Listening to Now Trending Live right here on Now Trending of Radio. It is Monday, July 23rd, right?
23rd, yes.
I know it's Monday. I'm just having difficulties with these heads. Now I hear it. Chris moved it and cut me off.
Oh, I see.
Blame it on Chris.
No, blame it on the
So again, you are listening to Now Trending Live. It is Monday, July 23rd. We've got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to go through introduction first, and then we have a special guest in the house, and we've got all kinds of news. So again, I am your host, Joy Canizero of NowTrendingRadio.com. In the house, as always. Well, first, we don't have Siobhan here. Siobhan is missing today.
She escaped, but she cannot get fired.
She did. She actually took money. She accepted money over her friendship here with us.
She sold us all out.
Doesn't that hurt?
Yeah.
I know she has bills to pay, but aren't friendships more important?
Yeah,
Apparently
who
not.
cares about being a victim?
And then over here, we've got Whoopi Goldberg and Judge Janine Pirro joining us today.
Drew? Listen. Who you calling Whoopi?
I wanted to just say that since yesterday, because that's usually the tone in here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
So again.
Wow. You don't see that bus coming?
Wow. The one we just got thrown under?
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
Wow.
So again, we have Drew producing the show today as usual. Drew, say hello. Which camera are you in, Drew?
As usual.
I'm in that one.
You are. Say hi to everybody. Chris Metal.
Hello.
Well, sorry to cut your high off.
Wow.
I cut your high short. Sorry. But
pretty
say hello again.
Let's cut him up. He doesn't want to.
Okay, Chris Metal.
Hello there. How are you?
And we, of course, as always, we have Chris Metal here.
See, we're all a whack when she's not here. See?
We are, when Siobhan's not here, I know it's like a piece is missing. I'm in a different spot. We've got cameras over everywhere as usual.
Mhm.
Chris Metal, where can we usually find you when you're not here?
ChrisMetalRadio.com. You can find me anywhere in the world on that. And
Nice.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter.
And
Chris,
the Twitter.
At Chris Metal Radio.
And the Twitter.
And we have our special guest joining us today, who we're going to interview him shortly after we get through a few stories. So everybody, welcome Andy Otero.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Whoa! Thank you for being here. And Andy, you are, should we say, the owner, the creator, the idea behind It Is What You Make It.
Absolutely. All three.
Okay, good deal. That's what I wanted to make sure. Let me get you over here. Sorry, I direct this stuff too on this side.
What? Look at her pushing buttons. Look at her pushing
I
buttons.
do. I love to push
Look
buttons.
at her. Look at her.
Now say hello.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
See if Siobhan was here, it'd be
It'd be
the same hot mess as usual. So we're coming back. The weekend's over. We were not here last week, were we?
No, we decided to take a week off.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
That's right. Well, Drew did Comic-Con.
Yay.
I had just had a root canal
No.
with the crown. I had vertigo for like a week. I'm just coming off of. Has anyone ever had a root canal before?
Are you serious?
Yes, I have.
Were there any side effects?
I did not have any.
Yeah, I didn't think I
It
would.
just sucked for a little while. I've had them. I've had two. They suck.
Your teeth are that bad?
They were. But because of the root canals, they're good.
They're not better now.
I just had to. I'm sorry, guys.
Real good.
Well, moving on to today's show. I guess we should move on, huh?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, let's start the show.
Hey, that'd be a great idea.
Shall we begin?
It is. So today, let's talk about made-up holidays.
Is that The Rock?
Shall we begin?
Yeah.
No.
Is that
No.
that idiot we had as president before Trump.
Bush? No.
What are you guys talking about?
I asked him.
I don't know. Keep pushing buttons over there.
Yeah.
You're telling me to keep pushing buttons over here?
You keep pushing buttons. I don't know.
I do. I like to push buttons. Well, anyhow, moving on. Guess what day it is today, guys?
Monday,
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Monday.
That is true. That is all true. But today is also Gorgeous Grandma Day. Who had a gorgeous grandma?
I did.
Two. Yes,
Two.
both my grandmas were gorgeous.
I never met mine.
I
I'm
met the second one. I met the first
sorry.
one.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
I'm,
the second
I'm
one.
sure they were gorgeous.
Exactly. Yeah, you're a good-looking guy, so I'm sure the genes came from them.
Thank you very much.
Today is also hot enough
That's a
for you
kick
day.
save right there, boy.
I'm just making him feel comfortable here. I don't want to act fake.
Oh, okay.
We want to show him our true colors, right, guys? That's why I removed
True
politics from today's show,
colors.
right?
And you started off with it.
Yeah.
Started off with the mic.
Totally
roll,
threw
but
us-
yeah,
yeah,
I
totally
wish
threw
they
us
were
off.
on, man.
I didn't. You guys started talking about it on your own. We weren't rolling. But anyhow,
So
moving
awesome.
on. It is hot enough for you, day. Is it hot enough for you
How
guys?
hot is
How
it?
hot is it?
Yeah.
It's so hot. I had to pour McDonald's coffee on me to cool off.
Whoa! That's pretty hot.
Chris would do that. It's also International Yada Yada Day.
Are you serious?
I am for real. That's
Yada-
my type of
yada-
day.
Yada,
I just yada yada everything.
yada, yada, yada,
Yada yada.
yada.
And it's also, drum roll please.
Oh, we didn't have that.
Didn't
queued
have
up.
them ready. It's National Day.
Just say
Anybody-
nice.
Vanilla ice. I was hoping
Whoa,
vanilla
man.
ice.
Hold on, let me fix my.
Okay, who's humming?
Not me.
That's humming. That's her. She's touching something.
It's not me. Is it your phone? Is it vibrating?
Don't
Is it?
blame the guest. It's not the guest, never the guest.
Nope, not me.
I don't know. Maybe it's
I
all
mean-
my wires and contraptions over here.
Probably.
Yeah.
So also today,
Let's
back
get
in
to that.
2011, is also when Amy Winehouse passed away.
Okay.
Uh,
Can we get the piano music from the Hulk, please?
oh, sure.
Why am I not producing? I would have had that
You
ready
didn't
to go,
want to?
man. Finger on the
And
button.
today everyone was early and on time. But that's usually
Yeah.
when we don't have our stuff together. Like when
Yeah.
everyone's here and we have enough time to get prepared.
But not everyone's here.
Everything right. Siobhan's not here.
We're
Okay,
missing
so we're gonna
most
blame it on Siobhan not being here,
Why
right?
did you do the split screen? Because there's other people on the show.
What did you say?
Why did you do the split screen? There's other people on the show too.
You want? I am in a second. You're such a like camera hog. Like you always
Yeah, that's why I'm going into radio.
move over more so they can see your lovely face. And then they've got all three of us.
Your face.
Move over.
What row?
So moving on. Are we feeling fantastic? I'm feeling fantastic. Are you feeling
Fantastic.
fantastic?
I am, and I'll tell you why.
Why are you?
Tell me
Wait.
why.
Are you feeling fantastic, Andy?
Absolutely fantastic.
True, but it's
Yes.
Finn, not fan.
Yes.
And we'll tell you why in a second.
Fantastic.
Finn?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Got it.
Yes. I'm
And why are you feeling fantastic, Chris Meadows?
Because
Tell us
as
why.
of last night,
done. Wait,
this
wait,
is
wait, 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 wait.
Drew, cue the music, please.
Just one moment. La, 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 la. Hold on one second. Damn, this doesn't work. Oh, that didn't work.
Come on,
I
man.
had it.
Drew,
No,
you're
I
a 2-hour
did.
show.
Today,
I
like-
did, but you know what? That lady wasn't.
Oh boy. Anyway,
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
so the
Jaws?
weather outside is really hot.
Dun-dun.
How hot is it?
How
How
hot
about you give
is
that?
it?
Yes, just give us
It's like
dun
really
it.
hot.
Dun-dun.
Why are you feeling fantastic, Chris?
Because-
Dun it.
Dun,
Dun
dun,
it.
As of last night, it
dun,
marked the
dun,
30th
dun,
anniversary of
dun, dun,
Shark
dun,
Week,
dun,
everybody.
dun,
It is.
And we had the music ready to go. I can't
We
believe
did. I know.
that this
I don't
has
know what happened.
floundered. Oh, but
It's-
this is
But
terrible.
sometimes floundering is good.
No,
Okay, maybe not.
that
Nope.
movie, The Beast, that was supposed to be the Jaws ripoff and ended up being a giant shrimp. That floundered.
That floundered.
That sucked.
No pun intended.
Exactly. That's why I said it.
floundered.
So
Didn't you
it's
put with
one of those
Sebastian and
things.
Ariel?
It's like,
Okay, so you just find some shark music. So all throughout the show, we're
he's
gonna give
looking, but there's going to be an ad first.
while he's looking and gets
Skip
rid of the
ad.
ad. Again, we're feeling fantastic today on Now Trending Live because it is the start of Shark Week. So Shark Week is actually one of the most top trending topics this week all over the world, all over social media. So Shark Week is a yearly week-long TV programming block created by Tom Golden at the Discovery Channel, and it features shark-based programming. The first Shark Week premiered on July 17th. What year, Chris?
30 years ago today, we think 1988. I was 10 years old.
Yes, you got it.
Oh, it
1988.
was great.
Oh my God,
it was
me
easy
too.
enough. I mean,
19.
everybody could do simple math.
Shark Week is featured.
Hey, I'm to my calculator. Hang on.
Okay, so Shark Week is featured every summer in July and or early August. It was essentially devoted to conservation efforts and correcting misconceptions about sharks. Over time, it grew in popularity and became a hit on the Discovery Channel. So since 2010, it has been the longest running cable television programming event in history and is also broadcast in over 72 countries.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So
Oh,
Uh-oh, someone's live. Someone's live.
not going to blame the guests because last time I blamed the guests,
because
and he
it
yelled
never
at me
blame
for
the
blaming
guests.
It wasn't any of our
Never
faults.
blame
But he's
the
like
guest.
part of the
But it was
family
coming
now. So
from
do we
over
call
there.
him a guest or part of the family?
He's
We
part
call
of
him
the
a-
family.
And then we just, so is
He's
anybody,
already talked politics around the table. So
Yeah. What's next?
Come
Talk
on.
about church and what
that's
else?
how you become initiated here.
And Trump's his president.
Our next conversation will be about the church.
So
You know,
Chris,
that there's another channel that does the same Shark Week.
yes, it does. Actually, National Geographic.
Yeah,
does.
Nat Geo. They do.
Remember we discussed this last year during Shark Week.
We did. And we had shark stuff here too.
Yeah,
We had
did.
like the water bottles and everything.
We did. You
We
great,
did.
great memory, Chris.
Where's my water bottle, Joey?
We're not in Doral.
Where's
dude.
your
They came
water
from somewhere in
bottles?
Doral.
I thought somebody ate it.
We're not in Doral. We're
It
in the
was too
Pines.
late.
They're
I was
giving
going to
it
call
away.
my friend for her son's box of sharks.
Box of sharks.
Box of sharks.
He has got a large box of sharks.
That's something you buy at Kmart or something like that.
No, he just collects. He collects sharks, and he just by now he's just got this huge box. And the kid knows every shark's name, their actual scientific name.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's 8 years old. He just, but that's
pretty
his
cool.
thing. Yeah, that's his thing. So, are there any? Chris, why are you laughing?
Because I have to move this box because I'm flipping off the audience. Look at the screen. I'm flipping them off. Look.
Oh, I didn't even see
Look
it.
at the screen.
Are there any shows that you're excited about or that you watched last night? Like last
I
night, they
watched the
had
very first Shark Week edition show when they were doing the countdown at the bottom of the screen on the lower third.
right.
The first one came on. It was 8:00,
Yep.
Mhm.
and I
Yep.
was in right away.
Was that Bear or was that Shark?
Bear Grylls.
I was
Bear
going to say,
Grylls.
did you watch
Yeah.
Bear versus Shark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it good? I missed it.
Well,
I love Bear.
I just want
love
to point
Bear
out. I
Grylls.
just want to point
yeah,
out.
I watched.
I want to point something out. If you notice that these people who go in the water with these sharks, they have one thing in common.
Oh no, don't go there.
I'm just going to point out real quickly.
They have
There's-
wetsuits.
There's something wrong with them.
cages.
That's all I'm going to say. There is something mentally wrong with these people to go in the water with sharks.
Are you a fan of Shark Week, Andy?
I am. I watch often,
Mm-hmm.
and I enjoy watching the interaction between the divers and the sharks, and them telling me that it's safe to go in there. So,
Yeah, okay, I'll go.
Well, it's like I told Angie. Angie up at the front desk was saying that she wanted to go paddleboarding. However, she was
Ooh.
scared of sharks. So I told her that this is the best week to go paddleboarding because all the sharks are busy on TV for Shark
Oh.
Week. Ah, so yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
yeah.
if that was funny or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Nice knowing you, Angie.
So yes, today's show is going to be full
Make
of
sure of breaking her replacement.
yeah, right. So today's going to be fun, full of fun shark jokes, shark facts, anything you'd like to contribute. You have any shark jokes, Chris?
One of my favorite movies is Jaws. You know, but as far as shark jokes, I have none. I didn't know there were any out there.
Why did the shark cross the Great Barrier Reef?
Because you wanted to eat the other side.
Anyone?
I don't know. You're going to tell us, right?
To get to the other tide.
We have something on the B bar that we can do after that.
Sure. Hang on one second.
So anyhow, tonight shark lovers.
Serious?
Yes, tonight shark lovers can watch shows like Monster Tag, Cuba's.
That's gonna be awesome.
I think Cuba's secret shark lair is one I want to see. It goes back to 1945 when one of the largest sharks ever recorded was captured in Cuban waters. A great white named El Monstruo.
El Monstruo.
Why is there an S there? Is
El
the S
Monstruo.
silent?
El Monstruo. Because it's Spanish.
No. You took the words out of my mouth and you took the S out. Now
Shut
you
your mic
can.
off, Drew.
So two teams of researchers divide and conquer in search of Cuba's massive great hammerhead in the Queen and what is it? El Monstruo,
Oh, now you want me to talk?
size great white.
El Monstruo.
that was very good.
Thank
Thank
you.
Very good.
Thank
I
you.
like it.
Him or me?
Emma.
Both.
He is. Well, he has
Both.
to. His wife, Paula speaks Spanish, right?
Both Latin, yes.
She is Spanish, so-
She speaks Spanish,
My
right?
sister doesn't speak Spanish and she's Puerto Rican. Puerto
Oh.
Rican, she is.
She's not American.
Your sister?
Yeah, my older sister.
Wouldn't that make you your sister?
No, we have
too?
different
I
fathers.
see.
Got that?
Mhm.
Get it, got it, good. Moving on, 9 members of one family, a couple celebrating their 45th anniversary, and a grandmother credited with saving her granddaughter's life are among the victims who died when a duck boat, which is an amphibious tour vessel, went down during a windy thunderstorm in Branson, Missouri. And this was on Thursday night. So of the 31 people aboard, 17 lost their lives. A private safety inspector said he warned nearly a year ago that a design flaw in some of the vehicle's exhaust could cause them to sink in choppy waters.
Wow.
Another huge attribution to this tragedy is that no one was wearing life jackets. A surviving passenger said that the crew showed everyone on board where the life jackets were and that there were 3 sizes. However, one of the surviving passengers said that once the boat began to take on water, the captain or none of the crew advised them to start grabbing life jackets.
Well, it was just the captain and the driver, right? There was no other crew on that boat.
Not sure. That's all they just keep mentioning the captain, and they just keep saying crew, but not a number of crew.
Probably like Captain and Tennille.
I mean, you're gonna think those type of vessels typically only have one person, usually 1 or 2 people on board. They run so many times per day. Think about different cities that you go to. You've got different tour bus guys.
Well, there was 2 of them in the water at the same time. You can see another one in the background behind the first one in the video.
I think we even had them. We have them down here at Bayside.
Yeah, but the ones that we have down here are okay to use in water.
Yeah, the water's not that rough.
That weren't aerodynamically.
This one was supposed to be okay to use in the water too.
It's supposed to be.
Well, the exhaust is literally in the front,
and that's the problem.
And so every time we went underwater, the exhaust would fill with water, and it would just get weighed down. So you're looking like a Titanic.
Smart. I mean, it was great. Good job, you guys. Excellent. Yeah. Don't listen to the engineer
that you hired.
6 years, in the service as diesel mechanic.
Yeah, you hired the guy to tell you what was wrong.
It's not safe to bring it out there in choppy waters. And what do? He inspected 24 boats and gave him the same report, all 24 boats. And they just sent people out there anyway, and then didn't tell them where the life jackets were.
Well, they told him
it's over there. They did, but they didn't tell them when to grab them. It's like the boat started taking on water, and this lady is saying though that nobody said grab the life jackets. I mean, so at that point, I've never been in a situation like that. But wouldn't your first instinct? First of all, if I didn't know how to swim, I think sometimes like I'm overconfident. If I get on a boat, I'm one of those people that won't put on a life jacket because I'm a good swimmer. So, most of us were probably the ones that drown.
Did you see those waves? I would have had my.
Honestly, I wouldn't have gone. If I had to go, I'm sticking the vest.
Why are they sending the boats out in bad weather? Do they not have a Doppler radar there?
But there were warnings earlier. They said that there were warnings earlier.
Yes.
This is a lake. This is not an ocean.
Right.
Okay, if you're in a lake, that means you're like inland. You're like you're landlocked.
Supposedly, it's a huge lake, though.
Okay, a huge lake, not a great lake.
Right, it's not a Florida lake.
Not a great lake.
Not a great lake.
So it's not it's not Okeechobee. It's not Superior. It's not Lake Huron. It's not it's a lake. All right, it's a pond 80 feet deep where they sunk it. Right,
pond.
They can see weather approaching. Here, approaching the area, they see it coming. They see the big green thing on the Doppler radar.
It's a new thing called radar.
Yeah, don't send the boat out.
It's only been around
if there's a chance of bad weather when these boats don't react well to choppy water. All right,
it's pure. It's just period. Even if the water was choppy, why would you go in the choppy water? You're going to give a bad experience to your guests.
Right, exactly.
They're going to be throwing up all over the place.
They had warning ahead of time. Another thing that's again, which seems to be a big issue, is the life jacket issue again. Now, as I said, we've all been on different tour boats. I don't know if you have. I've been on lots of tour boats in my life. I don't know if you guys have. But it is typical, as they said, I guess because these accidents don't typically happen, that everybody's so overconfident. So you do get on board and everybody's just like, hey, there's the life jackets, but you don't really need it. And you're talking about people coming on your vessel that don't even know how to swim.
Yeah, it was
at the end of the day, they can't swim in 3 feet of water.
Yeah, a little ship called Titanic was like that.
Right.
Look how well it turned out for
them.
But I mean, should we be, in those cases, do you go against, like, if you don't know how to swim? I don't know. I'd be.
Do you go on a boat cruise called a duck boat if you don't know how to swim?
Oh, I want to go on a duck boat, but. I honestly wouldn't have gone. If I looked out that water, I saw that water like that. No.
Okay, they have the duck tours in Boston in the Charles River, right in downtown. It's a river. It's not a lake. It's not the ocean.
Right. But you're gonna have. What I mean, and a river is one thing, but a river you expect waves.
It's not that motion. Deep. It's a big attraction in the city. Tourists go
People
to it.
drove 2 hours to get to this place.
Right. They will never send it out if the weather's bad, because when the weather's bad and you're on the water, you can get struck by lightning and vaporized.
Amen.
Okay. You wouldn't go out in good conscience if the weather was bad and you don't know how to swim. I don't recommend water activities. If you don't know how to swim, don't go on a boat tour, especially when the boats haven't passed the safety inspection.
Right, but I mean, it's exciting. If you don't know how to swim, I mean, you can't say, like,
Joy.
don't go on a boat.
Joy, it's careless. And now there's 17
yourself...
dead people and a lot of lawsuits coming.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Because now the state, here's the
because the life jackets propped up by themselves without bodies in them.
This morning, it was just that
they were just life jackets.
Yeah, that was the hardest thing to watch.
They weren't around corpses.
No, well, because they took all the bodies out. Right, they were able to. Get all the bodies.
They came up on the life jackets came up on their own, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
without a body in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the state law
life jackets available, and none of these people had one on.
Apparently, the state law requires them to have them, but doesn't require them to put them on.
Right.
So you have 30 people in this boat, including your crew of 2. Not a one had a life jacket on. You go out into these 4-foot swells, 5-foot swells, which is higher than this boat. And as you're sitting there going back and forth, you see the waves break over your bow.
And the exhaust is in the front of the boat, like you said.
And at some point, you got to say, this may not be a good idea.
I'd be
it all boils down to common sense.
If common sense were common, it wouldn't be called common sense.
It's common sense. It's optional, Drew. It's optional.
Yeah,
like intelligence.
Yeah.
It's optional.
Yeah, there you go.
Nothing's hammered home, and you have to learn this stuff.
Yeah,
and you learn the hard
If you
way.
can't swim, do not go on a boating activity. Don't do it.
Or if the boat starts taking on water, get the damn life vest on. You know where they're at.
Yeah.
Why do you need to be told? I'm not trying to.
Famous last words. The guy tells her, "Oh, they're right here, but you're not going to need them."
Yeah,
that's what he said at the beginning. Yes.
Yeah, and the captain survived. And the captain survived the whole ordeal. Out of the 31 people and 17 people that did die, the captain is one that did survive. Chris,
real quick, I hate to interrupt, but when you hear that, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the captain made it? What's the first thing you think of?
Mine goes into cruising laws to maritime laws, because maritime laws, the captain is responsible. Let me tell you something. He's responsible for everyone's lives, and you know what? If people died, his butt's going to jail. Like if this happened out in the ocean, I don't know how it works since it's a lake, and how
should be the same.
It should be, but
the captain goes down with the ship.
That's what my understanding was. He shouldn't have left that until everyone.
But then, since it's just a lake boat type of thing, I don't know if it falls into.
So you're saying like they threw a coin in the air? So, you're captain today.
You guys know how it works. I mean, as far as like international laws versus, I mean, that's the ocean versus
the guy with the consortia. He's in jail.
Yeah. The guy
he's in jail.
Over in Italy
to show off to the girl.
Yeah, check out my ride.
Yeah.
Chris, go ahead. Now, this is where things are going to get a little embarrassing, Andy. I'm sorry, because this is our bad people game.
We swapped Siobhan out for Andy.
So, I'm trying to get an interview before he leaves here. I'm not sure.
So Siobhan by default, we can use her in the answer. Good. Okay. But Andy, you're going to be part of this, okay? The name of the game is Bad People. And that's literally what it is. Friendships have ended because of this game. All right? You ask a question, and the answer has to be somebody in the group. You know what I mean? So I ask the question, and everybody says whatever the question is, who they think the answer is. It's somebody in the group. So Siobhan by default.
They're not nice questions.
They're not nice, and I've left the brutal pack in the box.
Okay? I hope you're not like super religious.
If I were okay, here we go.
Storms out, slamming the door behind him.
Do some Slash music because it's his birthday.
Okay.
And we're celebrating Slash from Guns N' Roses' birthday today.
Coming up later on in the show. If I were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, who's the last person I call as a lifeline? Now it's somebody in this group. We all answer. It's gotta be somebody.
Exactly.
Joy's the last one.
Sorry, Joy. Yeah, stick with that. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Best one. Yeah.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I figured you'd be called. I'd be the last one.
Confidence, guys.
What about you, Joy?
I'm not even gonna get my.
You couldn't call herself.
I'll just be the one.
Oh, nice, dude.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So moving on to our interview. Yay, Andy.
Wow. It's called deflection.
I have 3 questions.
No, we're gonna do them all through the show. We have so much to do. I don't have. Yeah, just random out through the show. Absolutely.
Cards in just in case.
I got 15.
There you go.
Okay, so again, we have Andy Otero. Am I saying it right? I didn't say it too Caucasianly.
No.
Otero.
No, you don't have to roll your R too much.
Roll it.
No, you said it perfect the first time.
Thank you, Andy Otero. And he actually cut his hair for us today.
What?
I did. I combed it and everything.
Yes.
I didn't comb.
He's the owner and the brain and the creator behind It Is What You Make It.
Sorry.
So go ahead, Andy. Tell us about It Is What You Make It. The product, the idea behind it. And I'm going to ask you questions, but go ahead, because I'm just getting you set up here. You're ready.
All right. Well, my name is Andy Otero, like you said.
Hi, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi to you. I've been in the military now. I just went over 32 years in the Air Force.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
much.
It's been my pleasure. And a long time ago, I've always been inspiring and motivating and empowering individuals, my troops and such. So long time ago, I heard the phrase, "It is what it is."
Okay.
I didn't like that phrase. It was a defeatist attitude, one in which you had no control over any given situation. And it was easy to deflect and blame others for your situation. So at that time, I would tell my troops or civilians or whomever I was talking to, it's not "it is what it is." It is what you make it. And I started using "it is what you make it" throughout. And then fast forward to 2.5 years ago, I had a double bypass. So I'm there laying in bed in the hospital, and God got me through it, and prayers got me through it. But I believe that God helps those who help themselves. So I was there laying in bed and said, you know what? I came pretty close to death. And how can I leave this world better off than when I came into it? So I said, you know what? I'm pretty passionate about "it is what you make it." I want to empower people. And what more empowering than eagle wings coming down on its prey? So, plus I'm in the Air Force, so I'm partial
I
to
noticed
eagle
the
wings.
yeah.
So I'm
See the
partial to
connection.
eagle wings. So I put it all together and said, you know what? If you live and believe and it is what you make it, you get empowered, you get these wings, you can soar as high and as far as you want to go. The whole purpose is to inspire, motivate, and empower individuals to get a personal responsibility mindset. And with that mindset, allow them to understand that they have more control over any given situation than they give themselves credit for.
Nice.
So basically, the words, I trademarked it. It is what you make it, and it's simple, but yet empowering. And that's my whole goal, is to get it. It applies to any situation, right? It applies to relationships. It applies to work, education. It applies to health, fitness. So we can use it specifically to address certain situations.
Mhm.
So "it is what you make it" is what I said. What's the easiest way to get it out to people? So I put it on shirts. I have I have different shirts. This is the Razorback tank top that I've been asked for so much by women, so they can work out in. It's a tri-blend material. It comes in 3 colors. You can see them at itiswhatyoumake.win, and each item comes with a tag, its own tag with a mission statement, and you can use it as a bookmark afterwards.
Oh, nice.
And it's a constant reminder that it is what you make it. I'm trying to, I just mentioned this earlier on Facebook. I said, why continue to pay the high prices for somebody to ask you, hey, how does that make you feel? When you can actually just use these 6 words and be able to feel what you want to feel when you want to feel it. And it is what you make it. You have more control over any given situation.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. And in a nutshell.
Right. It's a message that shows that you're in charge.
Absolutely.
Of anything. And like we were discussing before, I love how the message is on the actual clothing, because some of us just need a constant reminder.
Absolutely.
That we are in charge. We all have a lot going on. And sometimes with so much going on, we're lost in everything. And sometimes you just need that message in front of your face.
Absolutely. It's
you're in charge. You've got this.
I wrote on Facebook the other day also, I said, you know what? The first thing you should do every morning is look in that mirror and look at that beautiful reflection looking back at you and say, it is what you make it. Point at it and say, it is what you make it. And just empower yourself. Because honestly, nobody can make you happy. Nobody can make you mad. Nobody can make you sad. It's all on how you think of that situation, whether it's going to make you happy, mad, or sad. If somebody cuts you off, you can say, oh, that SOB cut me off, and get mad. Or you can say, oh, he must be in a hurry to go see his mom at the hospital. However we look at the situation
Right.
is whether it's going to be we're going to get mad, sad, or happy. And the situation doesn't dictate our reaction. If it would be so, then we would all react the same way to any given situation.
Right.
So it's how we process that situation that allows us to be happy, mad, sad, or whatever.
However, right, the effect of that action.
Absolutely.
And one important thing you also said, and which is like the message also behind the brand, is ownership, personal responsibility.
Absolutely.
And that's something huge when it comes to making that decision, and it is what you own it.
Yeah.
Sometimes even when you're in a terrible situation, taking that responsibility, at that point can change that whole situation and make it a better situation.
And you're absolutely right, Joey. And what happens is there's been a negative connotation to personal responsibility. Oh, you got to take personal responsibility for your actions. It's not a bad thing.
You're right.
Everything
yes.
is like negative. No, it's a good thing. I mean, people that work out are taking a positive, personal responsibility for their health. People that are working are taking a personal responsibility for their livelihood, for their family to provide. So it's not a negative thing. It should be a positive thing. Owning your responsibility and being personal responsible should be a positive thing.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, who can benefit from your products, from your message?
Well, like I said earlier, I believe that everybody can benefit, right?
Mhm.
Because everybody in a relationship, anybody going to school, starting a new job, it is what you make it, allows them to understand that they're in control. Yeah, there's things that people tell me, oh, you can't control this, you can't control that. But everything, if you think about it, everything is controllable on how we deal with it,
Mhm.
right? Whether death, a big one is death. People will come up to me and say, well, you can't control death. Well, you can't control it, but you can control how you live,
Right.
and then that'll dictate, not running into the middle of the street in front of a Mack truck. That will control,
Right.
not dying from getting run over. So, but in a nutshell, yes, it applies to anybody and everybody. And what I essentially want to do is I have backpacks also.
Yes.
That it is what you make a backpack, empowered. It's good. I have a smaller size also for your kids. As a matter of fact, we're going to be donating some to school age kids that,
Nice.
for single mother or single
Mhm.
parents that can't afford it. We're going to load them up with some crayons and some, whatever types of school supplies that they need. So those will be out here soon. And those are a smaller bag for smaller kids. And I've also I sponsored the Miami Heat wheelchair team. Yeah, it was incredible. Those how empowering is that? They yeah, no problem. Just watch them, and it's just empowering. So I sponsored them. I also sponsored the Miami Down Syndrome Association. They had a soccer day, and they took them all out there for individual kids. Great, it was great at a time. It is what you make it. They're empowering. And that's what we want to do. We want to reach out to everyone and get that mindset started early. So when they do get to situations where they have to make these decisions, they know that they have to own them, and that they know that they're in control.
It's true. And what's also the special connection here is that the person who connected us, I want to bring up Lauren real fast.
Oh, please do.
Lauren is who connected us, and also, she made the connection for you to be on our show. And she's one, before you came in here, we were talking out in the waiting room. And she's just absolutely inspiring. She talk about to give you that feel of empowerment, and you can achieve anything. And you guys know Lauren. She's also a graduate here from Connecticut School of Broadcasting. But she was born with MS.
Yes.
And the things she can do, and she rocks it. It's not like, like I said, there was just from one time of me seeing her. This is the board. This is where I was talking about. She sat here at this soundboard, okay, and had to maneuver the different levels at the same time with talking in between music. And like I said, and in each of our classes, it's always one girl, and she was that girl. So the pressure's on.
Right.
The pressure's always on, and we have to do it in front of each other. And like I said, she was the first one to sit down in that chair and just go for it, and did a great job. And after all the guys came in and everybody was like, I can't do this, and she just looked at him and said, I did it,
Yeah, no, she's awesome, huh?
First one in, last one out.
Yeah.
I met her at, and we were talking about this. I met her at the gym that she goes to, and I was selling my shirts and talking to people about the shirt, about it is what you make it. And I see her walk in, and she's with her mom and a couple of trainers, and she goes, and I'm speaking to people, and I look over and I see her get on a machine, and she is killing it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just killing that machine. And it's like, I'm like, you know, what do people have to complain about?
Right.
It is what you make it. She epitomizes it is what you make it.
She never has a bad day. There's never anything that's too challenging for her. There's never, and that's why I love her dearly. And again, I'm glad she brought us together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For you to be on the show, you know, to interview.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and especially you know, just such the message behind it. So it's just like all the energy. There's good energy together in that one.
Absolutely.
Good job, our Lauren. So again, these make great. Show us again. Show us. Show us the shirts right now.
Well, the one that I'm wearing is a long sleeve. It has "It is what you make it" on the front, and then also on the back, it has the larger wings. I don't know if you can see
wings. We can see your wings. Yep, we can see your wings.
All right. It is what you make it. It doesn't only help you, but it helps the person standing behind you in line. You know, if you're in a long line at Disney, you know, it's helping other people. It is what you make it. Don't complain about the line.
The person's getting so mad about the line. And you know what? They see that message. And you know what? Sometimes, like I said, you just need that message in front of you just to be like, okay, you know what? There, you know, let me just chill out here.
and like we spoke about earlier, it's not only that, but it's similar. Wearing the shirt is similar to having that bumper sticker on the back of your car that says, "How's my driving?" You know, you're that accountability. You know, you're accountable to yourself. So yeah, your driving is going to be a lot better if it has a phone number that they can call and you know, and complain about you. This is accountability to yourself, knowing that it is what you make it, and no complaints, no, you know, whatever the situation is, it is what you make it. You think about the situation, and you can get mad or you can get happy, but it is ultimately what you make it. And then it has every shirt has, and every gear, all the gear has empowered on it, because that's the key thing. So anyway, so that's mainly what we have. I started November 1st, and I've gotten like a lot of support, and a lot of people have gone on and gotten their gear, and we're doing our part. I believe I'm doing my part to help make this world better off than when I came into it. So that's it. And I love the opportunity to share that with your audience.
Yes.
And they can go to itiswhatyoumake.win. And
we have it right down here, right under him. Let me go ahead again. I've had it under you as well. We've got Andy, but right under here, yes, right down there.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Itiswhatyoumake.win.
There it is. And he's right there. And again, and these make great gifts for all year round. I mean, if you like to work out, these are great items. We're here in South Florida, so those are nice items just to even beach it. They also make great birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, holiday gifts.
If you're going on the water, we're coming out with another style where it's more fish, you know, more boating friendly, where they'll have some type of boating design on it, but nevertheless the message is still the same. It is what you make it. Even if you're out there boating, and you know, it is what you make it. If you're not catching anything, you know, it is what you make it. You can make it a nice time. You could drink your beer. You can, you know, responsibly, and you know, you can you can
it's all in how you take the situation.
It is what you make it.
It is. No, but it's just like I said the other day, my friend and I, we went by the beach, my friend Wendy, and she was like, what if the car gets towed? And I was like, well, if it gets towed, then we just have an awesome adventure to go get the car. And I was like, it's what we make it. She gave that, and she was like, okay, yeah, Joy. But I mean, that's how usually I am. I could be in a messed up situation, and it's a great message. And you know what? What's also great? It is. And then also the book bags, like for school. It's really a great message that needs to be. I wish the school board would invest in these backpacks.
You know, I agree with you. If all the kids would have that in their mind, repeat it over and over again. New messages. It is what you make it.
They need new, more positive messages that, you know, are the cool thing, and you know, something like that is definitely a great idea and the right idea. So again, book bags. What other type of products? We got book bags. We've got
right now. We have like I said, we just started November 1st. And it gets kind of expensive to get every size, every color, every this, every that. We have yoga pants that have the empowered on the side, and it has the it is what you make it wings on the front. And then we have the book bags. We have the long sleeve, short sleeve, and yeah, they can definitely go on the website and look. And for your audience, if you go on there, there's a code you can use.
Yes.
Gift 10.
Yes.
Gift 10. You see
Cheryl
that?
just posted it. Cheryl just posted it in
Oh.
our comments. So if you look on our comment section on Facebook, there's a message from Cheryl Otero.
Uh-huh.
And like she said, go ahead. It's gift 10 and get 10% off.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That'll be we put that on there, and that'll help, with some of the cost of either shipping or taxes.
Oh, cool. There's even more codes. You put up another code also, guys.
Oh, boy.
So I'm telling you, do your Christmas shopping early. These are really, there went my mic also, guys.
Did you break that?
I
You
did.
know what?
I'm so
That's
excited. I'm
school
feeling
property,
empowered.
Joe.
Oh my
I'm
God.
feeling really
That was
empowered.
very powerful.
It was my workout at the gym yesterday. I did arms yesterday.
That was very powerful.
Telling
You
you
know
how
what?
to destroy a
What
microphone.
I'm going to do,
Sound
we're going to
good.
go ahead. We're going to take a break since I am breaking things. So again, Andy, it was such
you
a pleasure
serious?
to have you here.
Well, thank you. Thank
You're
you. It was my pleasure to be here and help me share this message.
We're not done sharing your message. Like I said, because I want a message if we can at any point, with our Platinum Pro Wrestling partnership, and we'll definitely get that message across. Chris, did you have anything else to add?
I would love to have you on the Chris Metal Radio Show.
I would love to be there.
That message has got to be sent out to the people who tune in.
I agree. Thank you very much for that.
Absolutely. Thank
I'll
you so
take
much.
you up on it.
It's a great message.
So when we come back, we're going to be talking. We've got some food recalls to talk about. I think it's time we all just empty out our refrigerators at this point. We've got some hurricane season talk and much more. So make sure you stay tuned to Now Trending Live right here on nowtrendingradio.com. And we're back to Now Trending Live right here on nowtrendingradio.com. So Andy's going to stay with us. He's going to stay with us for the rest of the show. He
Well, thank
absolutely
you. Well,
likes
thank you.
us.
Oh my goodness.
Siobhan left us for a day of pay, but we made a new friend.
It's been
Absolutely.
sold out.
Yeah, his car wouldn't start.
I have to come back from the rain.
I gotta wait for AAA in here. Okay. Hey guys.
So yesterday I was at the beach and I saw a man in the sea and he was yelling, "Help, shark, help."
Oh my god!
But I just laughed because I knew that shark wasn't going to help him.
Oh, nice. I see what
You guys are awful. You're supposed to at least fake laugh.
We did.
Nah, it's not gonna work.
How many fins do most sharks have?
Is this a joke?
No. Now we're going on to facts.
Going to the facts.
I'm gonna say 5.
I'm gonna
6.
say
Again,
1,
how many fins
6.
do most sharks have?
fins?
6.
Fins.
3.
No, 2, 4,
6.
5.
6.
5.
We've got 5. We've got 6.
3.
My lucky number 8. Ba-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's 8. I'm
it
sorry,
your lucky
guys.
number?
8. How was it 8?
Why is it your lucky number?
Victoria fins.
Because I was born on January 8th.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just going by what the screen is telling me. It says that there's 8. I can't
You believe
explain
everything
it.
I read? Oh,
I know that they do have 2 penises, though. I mean, have you seen? I learned that in school too. You guys didn't.
Are
learn
you
that in school?
serious?
I'm as
Apparently
serious as a
so.
heart attack. But they do when you see him swimming, and it's 2. And
I thought it was
you
a
guys need to
female.
watch more Shark
I thought
Week.
that was female.
No, that's the male. Why would the female be swimming around?
Listen, I don't ask questions because you know why? I'm not in the water.
I see you don't watch much Shark Week, Drew.
Oh no, it's on in my house. My wife loves that stuff. And the
Okay.
kids like watching it, and it is informative.
I love Shark
But
Week.
I don't get in the water, so.
But I know. Are you really afraid of sharks? Like if you to go to the beach?
I don't like the beach.
I know you don't.
So-
We've talked about this for
Yeah,
years.
so-
Why? You used to see the
Because
sand,
It's hot, and the sand gets places that you don't want to get. It's just uncomfortable.
but it's like the smell of the air. The beach does so much like good for you. Andy, are you a
People
beach
like-
person?
I love the beach. I left Miami for a long time, but when I came back, yes.
Well, the weirdest thing is I like the wind. I like the breeze. I like the sea and the sound. I don't like getting in the water.
Yeah, but you look like you need to work on your tan, man.
I know. I've been trying.
Wow.
It's fading on me. You know.
Shots
Hey.
fired.
You know, I just don't want to get too orangey. You know.
Is that why?
Wow. Man.
Chris, are you a beach
I
bum?
like going to the beach. I don't go as often as I'd like to, but I like to get in the water, swim around. It's good cardio. You know, I'm always down for trying to stay fit, even though I'm a little overweight. I'm losing weight as we speak.
As we speak.
And you know, I like going there. It's a lot of fun. Like Drew, the sand can get on your nerves. It can get in places you don't want it.
Mhm.
That just happens when you lay in the sand and when you go in the water. It's part of the beach experience. But like I was trying to say before, people like Drew, not necessarily Drew, but they don't appreciate the smell. They smell like seaweed or some disgusting things. They don't take the positives out of the experience. And it's all senses because it's visual. You're hearing the ocean, which is a very unique sound. No
The
matter
smell.
where you
I love
sit.
the salt. It clears
The
the
salt.
sinuses.
I was
like,
gonna say that.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
my
the
wife thinks
feeling of the sand under your feet, be it dry sand or wet sand. And when you're walking into the water, you're stepping on them little the shells, and then you go down, you go deeper into the water. It's one of a kind experience. And if you didn't grow up on the shore, you'll never understand, because anybody can walk into a pond or a lake or a river or a brook, and it's not the same as getting into an
Yeah, it's
ocean
not,
with
no.
waves, be it small waves or big waves. People don't experience it if you're not on the shore. And I grew up on the East Coast my whole life. I've been on the East Coast my whole life. So I've been in the water a lot. I love it. And I'm not afraid of sharks. I'm in their backyard, but that's a risk I'm taking when I go in there. I know
Right.
it
But I've
might
just
happen.
never been one of those people. Like I know some people, they're just deathly afraid to go in the water because of sharks.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of those people.
Especially after Jaws. A lot of people stayed out of the water. And I had my mother.
I wonder why.
I was just saying
Oh
that
my
it had a
gosh.
tremendous impact on people's psyche.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a true story about that?
Yes.
So we go see Jaws, and of course I don't know, 6-7 years old, whatever. And I'm petrified of Jaws. And if you remember the old Carol Burnett show, it was Carol Burnett. She did a skit about Jaws in the city, and that people were taking a bath and they would come and they would eat you out of the bathtub. So for some reason, I blended these two things together. Man, I wouldn't take a bath for like 2 weeks. I was staying away because petrified
Thanks,
me.
Drew.
It petrified
Does
me.
your wife know about this story?
Well,
He
this
didn't
was-
bathe for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I suppose she knows now. It's just funny how these little things affect you as you go along. And I'm not scared of sharks, although I'm not, particularly fond of them as far as petting them or anything. But it's just I prefer. I like the beach atmosphere. I just don't like going into the sand and the water and all that mess that comes with it. And but I do enjoy it because my first apartment here was on a block from the beach. I don't know how I paid it to figure it out, but I did. And I totally enjoy it. I enjoy that wind. I enjoy the life, but I enjoy the water.
Well, moving on. Like I said, we've got some nasty food recalls to talk about.
As long as it's not Twinkies, we all good.
No, but Swiss cakes are. Swiss rolls are currently under recall as of last week.
Why?
Salmonella. Salmonella for everything. Mondelez Global says it's voluntarily recalling some of its Ritz cracker products over potential risk of salmonella. The Hanover, New Jersey-based company says it's recalling 16 varieties of Ritz cracker sandwiches and Ritz Bits products in the U.S. The products contain whey powder, which its supplier has recalled due to the potential presence of salmonella. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures in just a second. It is just about every type of Ritz cracker you can think of. Ritz crackers, Cheez-Its, the ones with the peanut butter. Mondelez says no illnesses have been reported yet. However, symptoms of salmonella include fever, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. It can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections in the young, elderly, or those with weakened immune systems. So if you want the most up-to-date information on any and all food recalls, there is a government website, foodsafety.gov. There's a plethora of recalls across the country that you can read about, and you can even get automatic recalls. Okay. And is somebody's house burning down? Are you guys okay? Oh, is it loud?
Unmute. You have to unmute Facebook right now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
How's that? That should work now. Darn it.
Start the segment over because nobody heard anything since we rejoined.
So back to beach and living.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and repeat that story. Sorry, guys. I did.
From the rejoin.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Oh, listen, it's like our show. So moving on, we're talking about food recalls. Again, Mondelez Global says it's voluntarily recalling some of its Ritz cracker products over potential risk of salmonella. The Hanover, New Jersey-based company says it's recalling 16 varieties of Ritz cracker sandwiches and Ritz Bits products in the U.S. The products contain whey powder, which its supplier has recalled due to potential presence of salmonella. Mondelez says no illnesses have been reported yet. However, symptoms of salmonella include fever, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. It can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections in the young, elderly, or those with weakened immune systems. So again, if anybody out there wants the most up-to-date information on any and all food recalls, there is a government website, which is foodsafety.gov. There's a ton of information on recalls across the country. You can even get automatic recalls alerts just so you know at all times when it comes to recalled food. And I'm going to show some pictures. There's going to be some pictures of the recalled products.
Just pictures of some salmonella. That'll get them.
But like everything has salmonella. Like it has a risk right now of some. I mean, like what can we eat anymore? It was romaine lettuce a few weeks ago,
Yes.
and I don't even know if that's been taken off the list.
Yeah, that was they fixed that supposedly because they found the salmonella in a river nearby. That's the source of it was.
Is that the source?
The source of
Down
it,
by the river.
In a van by the river. I don't know. I just read something online where a guy was eating oysters and he ate them, started eating bacteria in the oyster.
Well, that's another one.
You can't eat anything.
Yeah.
There's a reason all that stuff's at the bottom of the ocean. We're not supposed to eat it. That's why I hate seafood. It's there for a reason.
You're from Rhode Island, man.
It's there for a reason. Do you see what floats around in the ocean? Do you see what the churns up?
But the salt kills it, not.
Yeah, sure. Salt kills the flavor.
Okay.
Salt kills you.
Is anyone here a fan of raw oysters? Like I love raw oysters.
I am not.
I've eaten a couple.
Now, did that story last week with the guy eating the raw oysters and he did die? Has that kind of changed your mind on eating raw oysters?
Well, I don't eat it like every 4 days or anything like that, but I will be more careful.
Yeah, I just don't have any inkling now to. I don't want to eat any raw oysters, even though I love them. They're so good.
They're tasty if you with hot sauce and everything else right. But yeah, now I'll be a little more. Let me look at it and make sure
No.
You can't even look at it to see if it's bad. Like, oh, you can't see salmonella.
Wait, it doesn't stand up and say, hi, I'm salmonella? I'm Sam. It doesn't say that at all. Okay.
Sorry, Drew. Sorry to burst your bubble. Chris, you got any questions? You have any? I can't believe you don't eat seafood though. You're from
I don't
Rhode
like
Island.
I had bad.
Yeah, but you're
experiences
from
with-
Rhode Island.
I know, but I had bad experiences with it growing up, and that kind of scarred my brain for life. It kind of turned me off to it.
Now, are you the only one like in the family kind of? Typically, the ones who don't like seafood are usually there's like a lower number in families.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Just meaning, like, are you out of one of the,
No,
the ones that
I don't
don't
know where
like
she's
it?
going.
Do your
There's
families? Does your
I don't know where she's
family
going with
like
this.
it?
No, there's others who don't go there and are Italian. They just don't like the seafood. You know what I mean? They just never developed a palate for it. You know, I don't like it. I don't like the way it smells, the way it looks, and the way it looks raw and cooked. It's just not palatable to me.
Well,
What do I know? That millions of people love it.
Right, exactly.
So
What do you
I
know?
God.
Thanks. You got something on the B bar.
Andy, do you eat seafood?
I do. I love me a good grouper,
Yeah.
blackened grouper, and
Oh, I know my
mahi mahi.
Oh,
So
now you're making me hungry.
and some
I like it.
shrimp.
I'm a surf and turf, more of a turf.
When I went,
I like me a good steak too.
when I grew up in Maryland, you had the Chesapeake Bay crab. That's just the way it is. You go to the 301.
Yeah, you're from Maryland.
Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I had it growing up. It's just when I turned about 7 or 8 years old, I had a bad experience with it, and I never touched the stuff again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like
It's
I'm not
one
big
of
on
those things.
sushi. I like seafood, but I'm just not big on
No,
sushi. I cannot stick a raw piece of fish in my
To
mouth.
me, it all comes from the same place. No pun intended. It's just one giant umbrella covers all seafood. I don't touch.
Well, not all sushi is raw fish. You have other stuff.
Yeah, well, sometimes I like to cook stuff. I just don't
Yeah.
like the raw fish type of sushi.
The weird thing with
good.
seafood is
I'm good.
it has no taste until you season it. So if you don't season it right, it's not going to taste
Here
right.
you go, Chris. Why don't you think of it that way?
No.
There's always different ways to think
No,
at
no,
things.
no. I'm not saying
right?
for me
Like
either.
it is what you make
It
it.
is what you make it. You have to open your mind.
Oh, my
You have
God.
to open up.
Andy, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for helping me. Coming to my aid. You gotta get
I had
a
to
bus
put
sound
it.
effect on
I
that.
had to
know,
put
right?
that in a
We're gonna
blank.
look right
I'll,
there, right now.
I'll treat you to a restaurant that I know real close by that we can have some fish. You'll love
Look at
it.
the dollar menu. We'll be fine.
Before we move on to our next story, how many teeth do sharks lose over their life?
Lots of them.
1,000.
Lots of them.
1,000.
1,000. Drew, how many sharks in a shark's lifetime do they lose?
I mean,
How many
sharks left.
How many teeth do sharks lose over their life?
I would say hundreds.
You got hundreds. We've got 1,000. Andy, how many teeth do sharks lose over their life?
I would have to agree. Hundreds of them.
That's not a definitive answer.
Okay,
It's hard to
147.
It's hard to say exactly because I know that they just simply pop back again. So
They have 3 rows.
they
4
never
rows.
they
have
never
enough
run out of
rows.
teeth. You're not gonna see a shark going, hey,
And also,
come
they
over
live
here.
a very, very long time. So that number has to
And that
be.
you're absolutely right. And that is also a factor. And however, the answer is 30,000 or more.
There you
Okay,
go.
so I
That
was
sounds about
closest.
right.
You were the closest.
Yeah, you were. I'll give it to you. It's just that they
didn't know it was
they
that much, but I
Never,
knew it was-
they never run out of teeth.
I knew it had a comma in it. I knew it. You know,
Yeah,
because they live so long, unless they're hunted down, God forbid. But they will just constantly, recycle teeth. They'll just constantly change them out. That'd be cool if we could do that. Our species hasn't evolved that far yet. Sharks are way ahead of us.
we figure ways of eating without using our teeth, so we probably never will.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're smarter. We just get fake ones,
Yeah, there you go.
and they don't go away.
Yeah, exactly.
That is it. You guys are right. So moving on. Right now, we just lost Facebook for a second, but we're going to get back.
bro.
So you guys are probably going to start getting messages. Just tell them that we're getting back on Facebook. We're still on YouTube. But real fast, before we take a quick break, I just wanted to give you guys good news. While we can't say yet that it's a sure thing, the chances of an active hurricane season continue to falter throughout South Florida. So the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Climate Prediction Center is upping from 50 to 65% the chances that El Nino will form by the fall. Come winter, NOAA is increasing the El Nino probability to a 70% chance. The warmer Pacific water by the equator can lend to the reduction in the number of hurricanes forming, and it also means a wetter and drier season for us.
Well,
So-
which one is it, wetter or dry?
It says they actually in the report they put a wetter, dry season.
A wetter.
I think that means less humidity. If
You think? I that sounds weird. I don't know.
Well, you go talk to the NOAA and you ask them what they mean by that. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a quick break. Again, we have dropped off Facebook for just a second. We're getting back on. When we come back, we've got Chris and Drew with sports. I hope you like sports, Andy. Do you like sports?
Love sports.
Okay.
And we also have Metal's Minute.
We've got Metal Minutes coming up. I was going to say that as well. And then we've got Odd News coming up at the end of the hour. So make sure you stay tuned right here to Now Trending Live on nowtrendingradio.com.
When these stars start to fall, will you love me? Will you call? I need you close. Don't run away. Don't run away. Chasing highs in the midnight sun. We fought for love. We were on the run. Tried my best to give you what you need. So
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Join me, Siobhan, every week for Day by Day podcast.
it's there.
From Alzheimer's Awareness Month to International Bacon Day, find out what's happening this week and how these observances got started. Check out the show on Facebook or Twitter at Day by Day Podcast, because each day counts.
Day by day, by day.
And we're back to Now Trending Live right here on nowtrendingradio.com. Chris, so
Yes,
I've been inundating us with shark jokes and shark facts. However, we've got bad people going on as well. Do you have a bad people question for us?
Yes.
Before we get to sports? Great. I can't wait.
Most likely to cheat while playing a board game. This is not a board game.
Chris Metal.
Thanks a lot.
Even
I don't know you.
hold
I don't
on.
know you,
Wait. Who did you say?
but I don't know you, but I would go with Chris.
Thanks, man. Still want to be on the show?
Still going to be on the show.
Yeah, okay.
Remember, I
Thank
can
you.
edit the conversation.
Drew,
Yes.
who in this room is most likely to cheat at a board game?
Most likely cheat at a board game.
There's a voice. There's two hands over in the corner that are
no.
One's about to be a guest in the show, but they really have something to say.
No, I think
Come over to your dad's mic.
No, why are you doing this to me? I will get you, Joy. I will get you breakfast.
Okay, children, lovely, beautiful children.
Hi.
Out of all of us here in this room, out of the adults, which would be most likely to cheat at a board game?
House you live in? Remember who feeds you?
Remember how you're getting home tonight?
Yeah, make a long walk home. I'd hate for something horrible to happen to you on that walk home. You know, like
Uber them pick up little kids.
No.
Yeah, you got it.
And your answer is?
I would miss you so much.
And the answer is?
My dad reads the rule book, but he'll definitely cheat and use it to his advantage.
Right, because he does. Your dad tries to come off as the innocent type, right?
Well,
He's
I am
the
the
big,
innocent
victim.
lovable.
He plays himself as the victim.
The innocent type. He does this all
Oh
the
my
time.
God.
The Democrat.
Now we know why.
More independent, but still.
So that
my
was
God.
two. What was your answer? Did you pick Chris Metal, Drew? Who was?
Did I pick Chris Metal?
You did not.
No, I did not pick Chris Metal.
We haven't given him a
I
chance to
picked
answer yet.
Unmute, please.
Joy Canizero.
Darn it!
Why do you got to do that? We shut the mic.
It doesn't. It's not because this is hooked up different to
Well, it's
that.
You've got to remember to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a whole
See, look at this cheating right now.
Everything we just did was good for us.
But the thing is, I still have the audio. That's the thing. That's why I still have the audio, and I can actually plug
Really?
that audio back
You're
to
funny.
it.
The audience is many.
Something may not happen to your audio.
But as we were saying, go ahead with the question again.
Okay.
And the what?
As we came back from commercial,
Oh,
we asked the question, bad people. And I pitched this question to the crowd. And I said, who out of all of us is most likely to cheat while playing a board game? And two people immediately answered Chris Metal.
Our guest of the show said,
and I'm
Chris.
like aloof. I'm like, so
I said Chris.
I don't know. I'm a good judge of character.
Right, Chris?
I'm sorry.
I
gotta
like
say,
you, Andy. I really do.
You want me to turn his mic down?
You do or you did?
No, I do. I still think he's cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. So we're gonna move on to sports, but do we all agree?
I would pick and Joy.
Yeah, we all
you were
enjoy.
gonna, you think I'd really cheated
I
a
think
board
it's
game?
I think it's
I think
joy.
so.
I think it's joy.
Why would I?
I think you play dirty. I think in a fight you would pull hair.
Oh yeah.
No, but that's the thing is I like to play dirty, but not cheat. Like I'm gonna
But that's-
win
what's the
and I'm gonna rub it
difference?
in your face. And I'm not gonna cheat to ruin my rubbing it in your face.
Yes, you would.
That's
You
good
understand?
philosophy. I know, absolutely.
Like I
do
need
that.
my moment. Like I need your
Yes, you
in your
would.
face. And you can't if you're a cheater, like you can't do that. You can't own that. But when you win fair and
you
square,
serious?
like
No,
you
I-
can
That's
just
the
like
best feeling right there.
a-hole it up.
I think you would move your piece of like a space or two while nobody was looking. Kind of something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the easiest
five
board
instead of
game
four.
to cheat is when you're the banker at Monopoly.
I'm thinking like
And that just a friend told me that.
A friend
Yeah,
told
the
you.
friend.
if
They
you were
watch you
playing
cheat.
Candyland or something, you would definitely go up a ladder while nobody was looking.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Or down a chute so you get some.
Yeah.
whatever
How's it
prize
going?
was.
How's it
I
going?
think
I don't remember that far
you cheat
back.
on Mousetrap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Push someone.
You would be the cheater. Leave me alone. Go on to sports.
Okay.
The vote is in.
So Andy, would you please join us in sports? You seem
Absolutely.
like a sports guy.
Yeah.
You're talking about the sponsorships that you've had with the
Miami Heat wheelchair team. Yes.
So you have a a finger on the buzz of the sports world, especially local. Right now the only sport that's really rolling right now is MLB. There's things happening in the NFL and the NHL, the NBA, but the only active sport right now is Major League Baseball. So the Marlins they are what we think they are, a mediocre, not even middle of the pack kind of team.
But they're not in last place.
But they're not in last place, and they're not the worst team in the league.
No.
So I'm a huge baseball fan. Hockey is my favorite sport, but I'm a huge baseball fan.
Okay.
And I've lived here for a decade. I've been to a number of Marlins games, and I don't even want to watch them on TV. I don't want to go to the games anymore because it's like an investment in something that you're not going to get any return. You know what I mean? And watching them at home is just super lame because the result is oftentimes a loss and poor sloppy play.
Well, you can look at it two ways. It is what
It
you
is
make
what
it.
you
obviously.
make it.
It is what you make it.
You can go to the game with low expectations, and if you do happen to win, boom,
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So you go with low expectations. You say, hey, listen, we're not doing too well this year, But you go out there, you enjoy the sun if the roof is open. If not, then you're sitting there, you're watching the game, enjoying company, and then all of a sudden, if you do happen to win, then you can celebrate that. But yeah, no, I agree totally with you. I love my Marlins. Baltimore first, but anyways,
I'm so
Baltimore
sorry.
Orioles. I
I'm
mean,
so sorry.
They're even worse.
well, the thing is that I grew up here, and they used to come to spring training. My dad used to take me to the games, so Baltimore Orioles was what I grew up knowing, and then obviously the Marlins. But yeah, no, love them and follow them, and you can't do it during the good times and not the bad times. So right now we're going through a little low, like the long low that we've gone with the Dolphins, but still a Dolphin fan, and yeah, we got to cheer them on.
Miami opens up a series at home against the Atlanta Braves tonight at 7:10 at Marlins Park. The Marlins are
13.5.
43-58. So you're looking at 15 games under 500. So poor performance. But there are some like high points about this team. That there's certain pitchers that go out there and they pitch really well. There's one player in particular I'm really watching, Brian Anderson. He's fun to watch. He's tearing the cover off the ball. They have to be more consistent. They have to do a little bit better. Not a lot of people show up to the games because they have the same mentality. It's like I can watch them lose at home, without spending $12 on a beer and $15 on a cheeseburger and stuff like that. I can eat at home. Mm-hmm. So I mean, just as a Miami fan, just give me a take on what you expect. Every night when you watch a game.
Well, with them, like I said, my expectations are knowing that they're new ownership, new team. I mean, we've got rid of so many people. Oh, it happens quite often. Every time that we, we've done it after we won a World Series.
Both times.
Yes, both times we've cleared out a fire sale, and then we did it now with new ownership. But you got to think that they should have the wellness of the team or the good of the team in mind. So I think people coming up in the farm, through the farm team, and I think that it'll take a process, but 3-4 years.
They put on a really good show in the arena, the stadium. When you go, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of promotions. They got the fireworks. They'll have a band and things like that. Things going on all around the park.
We just don't have the audience. We don't have.
It's just not there, man.
It's not there. I think we'll have more of an audience if we have a soccer team down here than.
That's a good question.
It is, because that's what's slowly approaching on the horizon.
That is going to do extremely well down here.
I think so, with all the diversity we have.
I want to take a look. I want to get involved. I want to check it out. I think it's going to be great because it's tough to put a hockey team in a hot climate or warm climate area. It's the Marlins. I mean, the Panthers. They went to the playoff, the finals, the first year in the league.
Second year,
sweat, but they went.
Yeah,
and they always make noise throughout the season, and they're always going after it. And they always come. They've come up short in the 10 years that I've lived here. They've come up short 8 times. They've had good coaches that they've let go because of poor play. And I always not blame, but I always put on the players, not the coaches. The coaches can only come up with the plays. They can't execute the plays.
Right.
That requires defense and offense and scoring and defending and goalies and all these things. It's like when the Panthers play well, they pack them in. But when certain teams come in and play against them, the fans from those teams come in.
Oh, they take over.
If the Montreal Canadiens come to town, the place looks like the Bell Center.
The Rangers,
the Devils, the Flyers, the Penguins. I mean, you name it, they got fans in the seats, and the owners love it because they got asses in the seats. That's what they want. Who you're cheering for? The material. You're buying beers, you're buying food, and you're watching the game. Mm-hmm. So the Dolphins have been mediocre the entire time I've been living here. But when I was a kid, they were on top, having never won anything.
They did. We played in elementary school. They played, and each morning, Miami Dolphins #1 when I was in elementary school.
Yeah,
this is where we're coming from.
Join our cult.
Join our cult.
Yeah. I think I'm actually looking forward to the soccer if it comes to, or football as you call it. But
what we have, go ahead.
But I think they're getting a bad shot because of the Martin Stadium deal. I think, unfortunately, it's a carryover of that. the current proposal sounds interesting, but now people are upset because they're taking away the only public golf course in the city. Well, then maybe one of the private ones would want to change and bring more people to them instead of vice versa.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ways.
Capital of the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways around it to for everybody to be happy.
The best thing going for this is that they're not using taxpayer dollars to build this.
Right.
This is going to be all different. This is an ownership group and a lot of investors.
I think the commissioner at this point, all they want is a guaranteed per hour pay for workers there, and make sure that they clean up their mess when they're making that stadium, which I don't see is wrong with doing that. And they're paying them per year to use the land, so it's a win-win for the city.
It's a win-win for the community.
It is, but can we pack a soccer stadium? We can't pack half the time Dolphin Stadium. We can't half the time pack Marlin Stadium.
I think you absolutely can, because that's the one element that's missing from Miami. And that's one thing that I think would bring the entire community together.
Yeah.
When teams play against each other, and you know that teams from South America are going to play some games here.
And remember,
would they do the friendlies at Hard Rock Stadium and where else? They're going to do them at that stadium, and you're going to pack 90,000 people.
And remember, you have in 8 years, you have the World Cup in the country. So
you're
talking about, if you set up Florida nicely, Florida can host the championship game.
Set it up now.
Right. Yeah, we could. Like I said, that we've just seen over so many years that we just don't have. I've talked about this before on many shows, where it's just we really lack fan spirit here. But you go to other states. I mean, they go all out for their teams, and
because they don't rely on.
You have to rely on the teams playing well. Like take Tampa for example. Tampa's a sports town. They have a hockey team, baseball team, and a football team. All of them have won championships and played extremely well. Well, Tampa Bay's gone to the World Series. They haven't won anything, but they've been playing well. They're making some noise this season. But the Lightning have won several Stanley Cups, and the Buccaneers have gone to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
and they've had good teams on the field.
Right, there's some areas though, like the Jets. Let's talk about going up to New York and New Jersey with the Jets.
Were horrible for the first
for a long time.
They were horrible for the first 10 years or so. It's so bad the coach is like, oh,
you expect the flow of these bad teams to get better and go up.
You do, but we're just not committed fans. I mean, like I said, there's just some areas where even if they're the worst team in the league, they still have diehard fans. Like I was saying, like years ago when I went to Jersey and we were getting into football season. I mean, every place I went into was just Jets. It was just the whole family, the baby, the mom, the dad.
Yeah, baby. I think you know what I think it is, though? You know, I think that might be a little bit of what's the word? I think that might be a little bit of the area being nothing to do but sports. I think because Florida may be a little bit more diverse down here, you have a lot of things that can take your attention.
We do have fair weather fans.
Oh my God.
And that's the biggest
I'm waiting for the things to pull up, the wagons to pull up. But
ridiculous.
And honestly, I can admit there are times when I pay more attention if the team is winning. That's just other.
Like me, I love the Panthers because I'm a hockey fan, so I adopted them when I moved here.
Right.
I've seen them more than I've seen any other professional sports team. I've been to at least, I'd say, 50 games in the last 10 years. You know, and it's exciting to go. It's more exciting when they win, because then the visiting fans who outnumber the Panther fans have to tuck their head when they're going down the escalator when they're leaving. Right. But they've lost so many more times when I've gone than they've won.
Right.
And it's disappointing. It's really tough to buy into it and be the fan and go to the Marlins game every night knowing they're going to lose, and going to the Heat game and they're playing well.
But maybe if they had us there screaming, all of us, and not had that attitude, because it is what you make it. Maybe we'd start winning.
That would look great on the banner out in center field. That would look great.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the home crowd can make a difference.
Yeah,
it absolutely can. But who's going to show up to see mediocrity every night?
But that's
maybe we'll change it. The thing is, they're showing up though to empty stands, so they're playing with empty stands. The only fans we have are visiting teams.
I think it's a catch-22 where you don't have enough money to keep the player, so you lose the crowd, because the crowd, you losing the player, you lose the crowd. But you can't get the crowd because you don't have the player. You know, I think the team has to somehow take a bite.
Even
get somebody here, keep them here, and you build up around them.
We had them. We had Stanton. And we got rid of the whole team. And we had that.
And when Fernandez pitched, rest in peace, when he pitched, the numbers weren't that much higher, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 more than what you normally had, which is good because it shows that people want to see him pitch. I got to see him pitch one time, and it blew my mind, you know. But that didn't increase. That didn't increase the attendance, and that didn't guarantee they were going to win. You were going to see a good pitching performance unless he had a meltdown, which I don't think he ever did. You know,
no.
But like you said about Stanton, Andy, they had him here, and to be honest with you, he hit a lot of home runs, but I think he struck out a lot more.
Well, most of the people that do hit home runs strike out a lot,
and hit a lot of pop flies
because they're hitting for the fences almost every time.
He's trying to kill it every time. That's good for a home run derby. That's good for batting practice. But in the game, it's psychological. You do situational hitting, and unfortunately, maybe the Marlins were never in those situations because they were never really that good. They weren't as good as their 97 team.
I don't think we're too far off now. I think 3-4 players away.
Yeah, missing a handful.
If they fix that bullpen,
they got a week for the deadline, the trading deadline.
Fix that bullpen. That's it. You just get one guy that can be your 6th to 7th to 8th inner.
You can't rely on one guy though, Drew.
But you need something.
You got 25 on the roster,
and 4 ain't working.
Yeah, 3 to 4
bullpen is their problem.
3 to
they
4.
They had a 9-run lead in Philadelphia, and they blew that.
They're in a very tough division because Philly's playing well, Atlanta playing well, the Mets are up and coming, and Washington's playing really well.
I don't blame the division. It's not the division.
I'm just saying they're in a tough division. That's why they're in
that
last
bullpen
place.
up. Even the stars aren't bad, but if you clean that bullpen up, man, the guys that they probably pay the least amount is in that bullpen.
I don't think it's going to take much to get them to where they need to be
because they're hidden decently. They're not back to where they were with Stanton, but they're still smacking home runs out.
Okay, they're not in last place.
No, they're half a game out.
But it's a battle. It's a battle for last place.
Thank you.
They're half a game out. But unfortunately,
half a game
on the wall here.
A half a game out of last place. So okay.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to use your Orioles as an example.
Take a positive out of it.
Look how far Orioles out of first place.
It's
like a month.
Thanks for reminding me.
Sorry. I'm really sorry. They had a good stadium. I've been to the stadium.
Andy.
Very nice stadium. I love it. Well, I think there's a chance, but you're right. You're totally right. The team needs to do a little bit more. Get rid of that bullpen, and you'll be decent. You have a closer. They come in, they pitch 3 pitches, and the game's over. Yeah. But you can't.
When you blow leads,
yeah, 9-1 lead.
You got to have a lead in order to blow it. And a lot of times they don't have a lead.
They had a 9-1 lead.
But look when Fernandez untimely passing. Look what happened after that. You had a chain reaction of people leaving the team one by one. As soon as Stanton left, Yelich left, Ozuna left,
because they
left.
They didn't want to be there.
The D. Gordon left. Everybody left. Yelich left.
But it wasn't.
Well, only 2 people wanted to leave. The rest were traded.
Real Muto stayed, and Justin Bohr stayed.
They were saving money. That's all they were doing. Saving money.
From a payroll standpoint, they did the right thing. But
they did say there was going to be.
They jumped ship. It was like a mutiny.
They did say only 2 people left on.
I mean, it is what you make it. Okay. I can't say it enough. As a fan,
it's funny. He texted me last night, and he's like, "I hope we get the message out. Like, we will make sure."
I think you said you would make sure.
We would.
As a fan and as a baseball fan, as a local fan, it looked. I saw it as a mutiny, and it's tough to buy into it when you see that happen. And you look at the ownership too. They have a lot to do with it. It's not the players all the time. So
you also got to love the sport. You know what I'm saying? If you don't love hockey, regardless, you're not going to go to the hockey game,
right?
Unless if they start winning, then it's like, hey, it's part of me. It's part of the Florida Panthers. So you start going. The Marlins, it's tough to fill that, and but they're going to get to where they need to get to here in the next, I'd say 3-4 years.
They had a
if they can be consistent.
They had a sellout in the All-Star game. And they had a sellout on opening day a couple seasons ago. And that's the only time everybody showed up. And then they had the roof open. It was raining. So they broke the streak of no rain delays. And they busted that streak. They could have closed the roof and had the game. So that was
it's Florida. It is what you make it.
Well, we have football coming up. Are you guys excited for football season?
Yes. we're always excited.
I know.
No.
I'm trying to get you guys pumped. Why are you not?
Because
quarterback problem.
I was going to say Jets.
The Dolphins are on my team.
Oh, they're not?
No, he's a Jets man.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
He's a Jets man.
The condolences are
I'm a New England fan. I was born up there. So.
And we do the fantasy football thing. It just gets really disgusing in here during football season.
Oh, yeah.
I may have to come and join you.
Yes.
Oh, please.
Always welcome to come back. You are.
Did
you have any more sports, or you want to go on to Medals Minute?
We're just going on with it. It's just rambling because there's really nothing going on. We could talk.
That's what I'm saying. Well, we can move on to Medals Minute.
One more thing. So we're talking about the World Cup before. Congratulations to France for winning the World Cup.
Yes, congratulations.
My cousin and I were having a bets back and forth. And I picked this team. I picked that team. He stuck with France from the beginning. I give him credit for picking the team that win. But I want to say definitely, if the States are going to get it, they need to make it pretty down here, and you can have the World Cup down here. Can you imagine World Series, World Cup? This place to make money hand over fist.
Yeah.
And Miami's the best spot for everything. So build the damn stadium.
Well, we're kind of running out of room. We need somewhere to park.
Oh yeah.
Chris, you got Medals Minute first?
Medals Minute, and Medals Minute today is music diet. Drew, cue the music, please.
I kept cueing the music.
I want to say a very, very happy birthday to the man they call Slash from Guns N' Roses, one of the most iconic guitarists in our time, of all time. Started listening to him when I was 9 years old in 1987. He's in one of the most legendary heavy rock bands, call them heavy metal, call them heavy rock, Guns N' Roses. Tremendously successful band. This was the first song I ever heard, and I was locked in from the second I heard it. It was the opening guitar riff, and the entire song, everything he's written is incredible. And happy birthday to you, Slash. I've seen you several times in concert. You opened for Ozzy.
Stalker.
Right. Incredible guitar player. You're on the top 100 on Rolling Stone. Congratulations, you earned it. I put you in the top 10. You're that good. God bless you, and here's to many, many more awesome Slash songs. So there you go. And the other part of Medals Minute is diet. It's music diet. Okay, so diet. A friend of mine at work has done this diet now for a couple of the last couple of weeks, months or so. It's called intermittent fasting. And he fasts for 16 hours and eats for 8 hours, but within an 8 hour span can eat.
I like them already.
That's what I thought.
What? All right, let's go.
8 hours.
I'm going to sit here and eat for
Golden Corral, let's go.
Golden Corral. It's funny you mentioned that. So I decided to try. Upon hearing about it, I realized at the time that I was 14 hours into a fast because I hadn't eaten since the night before. So I'm like, well, damn, I'll try it. Why not? And when you're on your downtime, your 16 hours of fasting, you can drink water and coffee, black coffee, no sugar, no cream, and things like that. And I've done it. This is day number 8 for me. And I've already lost a couple of pounds. I don't know how many because I don't step on the scale. I judge my weight by how nice my clothes fit, if they're tight, if they're loose. This shirt was tight on me a couple of weeks ago and I wore it here. And it fits comfortably now. And you base it on how your pants fit when you put your belt on and all sorts of things like that. And I definitely lost some weight since then. But you can notice the difference in the people that are doing this diet. It is absolutely amazing. And when you do have your 8 hours of time to eat, you still eat moderately, and you don't go off the deep end. You don't hit the buffet like Drew's going to go to Golden Corral for 8 hours.
You don't do what?
Things like that. I wouldn't eat towards the end of the 8 hours. I usually eat during the first 5 or 6 hours of it. I don't eat the last 2 hours. Maybe like some vegetable at the end. It's just a snack like grapefruit or something like that. And it's a tremendous difference in it, like it is what you make it. This can be really successful. You got to have a level of discipline, mental discipline. I'm by a salad bar at work, and I'm walking by people eating and all the fast food restaurants and everything. It's like you have to tell yourself when it hits my cycle is noon to 8 when
you have to be disciplined. Got it.
Exactly. So when the clock strikes noon, I can eat from noon to 8. I'm eating at 12:30.
I know a couple of people that are doing the same plan, and it's working
tremendous,
wonderfully for them.
So I implore anybody who wants to lose weight or try this before you try anything else.
Sounds good. And is that it? And you were going to say what? And while you're working out, we were discussing this earlier. We were saying music list. What is your preferred music? Workout music.
I can only work out to heavy metal, and I'm not saying that because I host a metal show on the radio. I'm saying because I can't work out to jazz. I can't work out to blues. I can't definitely not work out to hip hop or EDM or any of those things. I love jazz. I love bluegrass. I love the blues. I'm a huge heavy metal and rock fan. I can only work out to heavy metal. That's it. That's me.
He lives metal, folks. He lives metal. So before we take a break, how many species of sharks are there, guys?
Over 100.
125,000.
True.
What? Am I not right?
Andy,
I
how many?
haven't made
No,
close.
Googling. Get on
No,
your
no, 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 no,
phones.
no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sure. No. Yeah,
I was
I
just
see how
thinking-
you guys play trivia.
What are you talking
It
about?
goes back
Nobody
to this
accused
question.
me of cheating.
Sounds like we're cheating on playing a board
Thanks a
game.
lot.
No, I've been wrong very far off this whole time because I've been agreeing with
See?
with
Drew.
him. Drew.
Yes.
Except when
So-
it's politics, you don't.
Okay.
How many?
I'm going to say there's got to be at least a couple hundred.
At least let's say 1,500.
Chris, you said again? 100?
Was this like Price is Right?
300.
Yeah, you want to cash that answer in? Over 470.
Oh, okay.
Closest without going over. So
Oh,
I
I'm
won't.
sorry.
Well, I'm more of
Right?
a generic 400.
And what do you call rubber bumpers on yachts?
This is a joke.
Boats?
Yeah. Shark absorbers.
Oh, man.
So when we come back, Drew's going to tell
Are you
us.
sure we're going to come back?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, well, Chris wants to go ahead and give us a bad people question too while we're at it. Hold on. Go
Oh,
for it,
wow,
Chris.
If I decided to rob a bank, who's the last person I'd choose to help me?
Drew.
Joy.
Wow.
Shot
fired.
Because Joy
Drew.
dropped the money, dropped the bag, go back, get
I
the
would,
bag.
but I'd never open my mouth.
He didn't say that.
I'll
He
take
didn't say
Joy.
that.
With all due respect, I would have chosen Siobhan
Yeah.
because those bags are heavy, and if I threw the bags to
I
her
can't
while I'm
hold
holding the
that.
gun,
I
something.
can't hold it.
Siobhan would be
Get knocked
dragging.
over by the bag.
Drop the gun,
You know,
gun goes off.
When we open the bag, the die's going to go off. It's going to hit Siobhan. You know what I mean?
I feel bad that none of you picked me.
So-
Not to
Right.
It is what you make it.
It is what you make it. So again, when we come back, Drew was going to tell us about his time spent over at SuperCon
What?
and his day at the Umbrella Festival yesterday.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We've also got odd news coming up. So stay tuned right here to Now Trending Live on nowtrendingradio.com. Action. A reaction.
Really?
Reaction.
Reaction?
Yeah, something like that.
Definitely reaction.
It is. So during this segment, we close. We've got about a good 25 minutes left. So Drew
Yes.
loves to go
Yes.
to SuperCon and
Yes,
the family.
I do. Yes, I do.
Right? And the whole family goes. They volunteer and then they get to
Yes,
enjoy
yes,
the
we do.
show.
Yes, we do.
So we all want to know what happened at SuperCon.
Sure. Here, I'm going to introduce you all to my lovely daughter, Isabella.
Yes,
Hello.
put her over here. She's over here. Come over here.
Come over here.
Say hello to your mom. Your mom's watching.
And my
Everybody's
son,
watching.
Julian.
Hi, mommy.
Okay, great.
She says behave.
Yeah, exactly. Come here.
But we can read her. I can see she's making comments over here.
Okay, so this year was the first year. We go every year. We go for like the last 4 or 5 years, I think. 4 or 5 years. And this is the first year that my daughter got to actually work it with me because I volunteer all the time. And I started with when we were over at the we were in Doral, at the school in Doral, and I decided, you know what, maybe I should just get some more experience with, audio and visual equipment. And so I decided to do it. And I said, hey, this is also a free ticket. What the heck? We're a couple hours, you get a free ticket.
Absolutely.
Which actually it is. So this year, my daughter, she's technically not old enough, but she's old enough to shadow me. So I had her shadow with me this year, and let's see how she did. Come here, Mama.
Oh, okay. Hello, hi.
Hello, Isabella. The world, Isabella.
Hello, hi.
Excellent, Mommy. It's okay. So, Mommy, tell me a little bit about your experience this year. Now that you had to actually work it.
It was fun. I met new people. I had a different experience. I never worked with AV before, so that was cool.
Okay, cool. So, tell everyone what your job was.
Well, it was your job since I shadowed you.
Yeah, good point.
Just in case it went wrong.
Yeah, right. Oh, look at that blew up. Oh, it's Dad's fault. Go ahead. Tell everyone what did Dad do.
Well, we would work with the panelists. Whenever they had panels there, we would make sure that they had all their equipment, the mics, wires.
Now, what are panelists? Tell everyone what panelists are.
I don't know the definition of that.
Okay, panelists are the folks that would come in and they would have a topic of discussion for a group. It could be a small group. It could be in a small room. It could be in a large room. It could be even in a big giant hall. Our group handled these, maybe a large room to a smaller room. The big hall was handled by other guys. So you would help the panelists set up their gear, and what else?
Oh, and if they needed anything like tables and chairs, even though we technically couldn't get that for them, it was cool.
Yeah, but there's a will, there's a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we would help them set up in their room, and some of them they've done it before, so they're very organized, and we just stay out of the way and then let them know, hey, what do you need? Okay, good, we'll get it for you, done. Like, for example, the Jedi.
Oh yeah, the Jedi
Knights,
sword people.
Yeah, they knew exactly what to do, and they just set the room up the way they needed to set up. So we didn't have to do too much. We just make sure that their connections were set up right, and then which worked out well for us and them. And then we let that room go, and then we go on to our next room and come back and check on them. So this year, she got to go and she got to work, and then she also saw the downtime we had. So you'd work a room, you'd be assigned usually to one room, 1 or 2 rooms, and your downtime could be anywhere from how long that panel runs. So your downtime could be an hour, or it could be half an hour, or it could be whatever the 2 rooms would work out. This year we had a lot of folks volunteer, so we weren't as stretched thin as we were in the years before. So we had a lot more downtime. So what did we do during the downtime?
Oh, we walked the floor where all the voice actors and guests were, and we ran around the little shops. It was fun.
And what did your mother and your brother do when they were?
I have no idea.
Yeah, my wife loves the panel. She loves going to the Q&A. She loves to. What did you guys do? What did you do with Mommy when you guys were?
We bought 5 Legos.
You bought Legos.
They bought 5 Legos.
5 Legos, and I stepped on 2 already. So, nothing else. So we would meet up with them occasionally, and then we go to certain things. We take pictures. We took pictures everywhere, and Bella got to meet some of her. You're right, the Voltron force she likes. And my son got. Who'd you get to meet? Who'd you meet?
Beast Boy.
Yeah, what's his name?
Greg Cypus.
Was he nice to you?
Yep.
There you go.
He's not like Uncle Chris Metal, right?
There's that bus again. Right on time. That sound effect. We kind of we're on it. I promise we're on it. We're under it, yeah.
At least I am.
Don't worry, my turn. There were some people there that I wanted to meet that I didn't get to meet for whatever reason. I got to take the belt, the belt that I had. I got to take one of the belts and got to talk to
King Jerry Lawler.
King Jerry Lawler, very nice guy, really, really cool. Was very happy to sign it. Took a picture with me and everything. You know, it's nice to when you meet these guys that they turn out really, really cool. And
They are.
I understand it's a business for them too. They're
Right.
they're earning money,
Absolutely.
but it's really cool. It's
Were
really
you,
nice.
were you guys there for the Gangrel and Jeffrey match?
No, we didn't
I
see.
saw it on Twitter. It was
See?
amazing.
We were in that room, but we were working, so we didn't get to see that fight. We got to
Yeah.
see another wrestling, but it's the fun part is to get out and during the downtime and
talk
find the
Well,
people.
you
Yeah,
guys saw
to find the
wrestling.
people. Yeah,
I was at the masquerade party.
yeah. I don't know how she got that wrong. The most important thing for me that I saw, believe it or not, there were some Star Trek guys there and a couple Marvel guys there. And I didn't get to see them. I saw them from a distance. You know, I didn't get to actually meet them. But the one guy I got to talk to, I don't know if you guys remember this guy. This guy's name is Alan Oppenheimer.
The name sounds familiar.
Name sounds
He
familiar.
did the voice of Skeletor and He-Man.
Right.
Oh my
He's all
god! Do you know who
cartoon voice.
Skeletor is?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
And
The
it's
guy-
also that dragon thing in the Never-Ending Story.
The guy was, and he did like a Star Trek. So
Yeah.
there you go, right there. The guy is the nicest guy you want to meet. He's like 112 years old, but he's a delightful guy. Delightful. And it's funny when you meet these guys who, as your kid, you're just like oogling over it. Now you get to meet them, and they're hilarious. They're just having a good time, and they're happy to see you, and they're happy to catch your money. But they're very happy to talk and say hello and hear your experiences. And him and Jerry were just that was my cue for the weekend.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you had a good time.
We had a great
And
time.
at least
I
you got
definitely-
to work under your dad this time.
Yeah, she's got a couple more seasons before she can work on her own, but I think she'll probably
Like
come
what,
back.
2-3 years?
Let's not say it out loud because they don't know how old you are.
Yeah.
No, I'd say maybe 2 years.
Nobody heard that.
No, okay, good.
Just a couple years.
Yeah, but she had a good time, and I was actually proud of her because she was very responsible, and she was, she wasn't like sitting in the corner going, "Is it over yet?"
Right, right, yeah.
And she'd come and she'd look to see she'd ask the guy or John, who was our boss, what's our next room, and she was very responsible, and I was very proud of seeing her hustle and work. And
she had a great teacher.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Oh, who was the teacher?
Get him in this room. But she really, it really showed a lot. I mean, kids are kids at home, and they're always going to be kids at home. But to see her working and being responsible and being with everyone else was really cool.
It's a sight to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different kid. You're like, well, where's my daughter? What'd you do with her? But I was very proud of her.
I do stuff.
Don't lose it, honey. Don't lose it. You're doing good. You're doing good. Don't.
True. If anybody loses Facebook, it's back on. They just may have to refresh that link.
Oh, I missed a good
somehow, no, it just cut off right now. Like right as she was saying the last thing, that's when it actually cut off.
Okay, good.
So
I would definitely highly recommend if anyone can go just for a day to walk around and see people that that you've heard over the course of your lifetime that you just want to talk to and interview. And they'll be happy to talk to you for a little while, especially if it's a quiet moment and just the two of you. And your favorite shows and your favorite actors, go. It's really fun. It's really fun and inexpensive for what you get. And then you can shop around. Maybe you find that old movie you're looking for or the old TV show you're looking for. Because there's always a guy there that has either old TVs, old movies, or every horror movie that you look for. So the videos are there and the things are there. And you have a good time.
It sounded like a good time.
Yeah, and the earlier you buy your ticket, the cheaper the ticket. So definitely. Now they're not. This particular con group won't be back until next year. They're going to come back in July, and they're going to be back at the beach, which is really good because then they'll work the beach for next season. And the beach has now gone from up to 500,000 square feet, so they're going to definitely have more people there, anything like that.
So this year was just temporary where they were at.
The last 2 years they were in Fort Lauderdale was just temporary, right? Because that's only like 100,000 square feet. So now you go to 500,000 and you get more people in, and they're going to not do the smaller cons anymore. They're going to concentrate everything on the big ones. So they're trying to get to be San Diego's kind of style. Even if they can get to Orlando, that'd be even perfect. But I think they want to try to grow up.
All the way to, well, you would have to drive all the way to.
I'm glad you clarified that. But the beach is not that far from my house. So this time when we go to Fort Lauderdale, because it's such entail, I don't want to drive back and forth to Fort Lauderdale. So we stay there, and we make a little vacation out of it. So we had a great time.
It is what you make it.
That's what you're exactly right. And we did that the last 2 years, and this hotel was better than the last hotel. It was bad last time. This was closer. And we
It
got
was
to
across
do.
the street. It was great.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, we had a really really good time. I was surprised how my wife was really into the panels, and she took care of Julian for a while, and we did our thing, and I was very impressed by these people. So I can't wait till next year. Next year,
We're back in Miami, right? Next
we're
year.
back in Miami. We'll have more time there because now we can stay later, and it'll probably be one day over there, but we'll have a good time. We'll wait and see. You guys I would definitely recommend you guys to go. I try to get you guys to go.
I know you keep trying to get us to go, and we're.
in game. So
I want to go. One day I'll go. So we're ready to move on to odd news.
I think so. Odd news. Odd news is as good as it gets.
Odd news. Yes, we even have odd news here, Andy.
Wow. It's fitting.
Yeah, right. Well, these weird people here.
That would be us.
That would be us.
So Arizona authorities say a 44-year-old uniformed security guard is accused.
Uninformed.
Probably had it right the
Also
first time.
uninformed. Yeah, whatever. Arizona authorities say a 44-year-old uniformed.
There you go again. Oh my goodness.
It's one of those days. Uniformed security guard is accused of impersonating a police officer by trying to pull over an unmarked car that actually happened to contain 2 state troopers patrolling a Phoenix freeway. The Department of Public Safety says Matthew Allen Disbrow of Mesa, Arizona, was driving his personal black Dodge Charger. Do you do that, Chris?
I have a black Dodge Charger, but I don't pull people over.
Yes, he was driving his black Dodge Charger
yet.
on Wednesday
Yeah, right.
when he activated law enforcement style emergency lights on his car to pull over the troopers. The troopers were driving. Yes, the troopers were driving in a yellow Ford Mustang. According to the department, the troopers wouldn't pull over. Disbrow then drove alongside, yelled, and waved a hand at the troopers to get them to pull over before they activated their own police lights and pulled him over. So court records don't list an attorney for Disbrow who would comment on the allegations.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? What's that smell? He realized, oops.
Like cop cars come, they're like today. There's no they
There's no
use
set way,
every
nope.
type of car possible out
Yep.
there. They before you used to be even able to tell the unidentified cars, which were
No
like
markings.
with the no markings,
These
but
are
they
dark.
still had the certain kind, even though it had no markings.
Crown Vic.
Yeah, like these days, forget it. I mean, they drive anything and everything.
Yeah, that works.
They confiscate it. They drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll take it.
So moving over to San Antonio, Texas, one baby girl is lucky and guaranteed food for life and a job.
Okay.
After hold
Oh,
yourself.
this is so nasty.
After her mother gave birth to her in a Chick-fil-A bathroom. Fallon Griffin was having contractions when she and her husband stopped at the fast food restaurant in San Antonio to drop off their daughters with a family friend.
Drop off.
She had used the
Oh
bathroom,
my God.
but the restaurant was closed. The couple banged on the door. Store director Brenda Enriquez tells KSAT TV she opened the door and Griffin was screaming. Whoa! Enriquez grabbed some towels. Husband Robert Griffin says he managed to unwrap the umbilical cord from the baby's neck and deliver Graceland Griffin. Mom and baby are doing fine. However, the company says Graceland will have free Chick-fil-A for life and a job when she turns 14.
And I'll bet she was baptized on the scene
Ugh.
at the Chick-fil-A, unless it was a Sunday and then they weren't open.
Well, then they wouldn't have opened the door.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been there.
They wouldn't have been able
Not
to.
even for a baptism and some fry grease.
Oh, maybe.
Oh my God. That is so
No,
horrible.
not good.
I love Chick-fil-A.
That stuff's
Oh, it's like crack, man. It's like but in the bathroom.
Great company. Great company.
I was going to say, they really are. They at the end of the day, I mean, but then
I love it.
political views get involved.
Can they,
Unfortunately,
it shouldn't get involved.
was the bathroom clean?
entities.
Please tell me the bathroom's clean.
Of course, it
They
was.
have the
It's
cleanest
Chick-fil-A.
bathrooms. They
I
never
was-
get an order wrong. They're incredible.
They are.
It's a little creepy when they ask you for your name. Because what's the first time I went, I'm like, yeah, I have something that goes, sure, what's your name? What do you need my name for? No, we just so call you when you order stuff.
You were just upset he wasn't asking for your number.
You know what I'm
also,
saying?
along with your
Oh,
name.
You know, I went into a restaurant like that once, and I was the only one there. There was nobody in line, no one. And they asked me my name, and I looked around. I turned around, and I said, "The only one here."
Do you need to order for anyone here? Only order for anyone here?
And I said Trump. I said Trump, but it says Starbucks.
Of course.
Uh,
So,
uh-oh.
well, that's like Siobhan. Speaking real fast to sidetrack on Siobhan.
Hi, Siobhan.
Siobhan.
when she goes into Starbucks, she can't use her name. They never can get Siobhan. So if you always look, her cup says Sandy.
Are you serious?
She just tells them my name is Sandy.
Start singing the song from Greece.
Oh man.
Oh, Sandy, baby.
We've got some Grease fans in here.
I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've never
54
said
years
that.
old.
Everybody knows.
I've been a
same time that Chris. I heard you singing like
I know it wasn't Travolta's finest work. That was Welcome Back, Cotter.
Cotter. It's Cotter. Oh God.
Moving on over to Florida, where all the fun stuff seems to happen.
Oh, good.
A Florida woman was arrested after her pet spider monkey named Spanky attacked a Home Depot employee, then bit another employee a few weeks later in the parking lot. Tina Ballard was arrested in North Carolina and will be extradited back to Florida to face 7
Trying
charges.
to make a run for it?
She did. Wait, we're going to get to that part.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so they're extraditing her back to Florida to face 7 charges relating to the 2 incidents. The first incident happened on May 4th.
Was she on the run?
She went on the run.
Was she on the run?
Yeah, listen. So Ballard
Was the monkey driving the car?
So Ballard, this is the first incident on May 4th. She was in the checkout line when Spanky grabbed the cashier by the shirt, leaving red marks on the cashier's shoulder and back.
God.
The store didn't call the police, and Ballard was told she could not bring the pet monkey back to the store. You think she listened? A few weeks later, she returned, but she left Spanky in the truck. This is when she returned a few weeks
He
later.
drove the car through the front door.
While she was shopping, Spanky escaped the truck and bit an employee on the back when they tried to grab the monkey's leash as it wandered around the parking lot. So the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission was called to investigate the incident and filed charges against Ballard for lacking the required paperwork to own the monkey and failing to have him immunized. She was also charged with tampering with evidence after she told officials she was fleeing to North Carolina to hide Spanky from wildlife. She had sent an email to investigating officers stating that she was aware of the hearing and was fleeing to North Carolina in order to hide the monkey.
My God.
So the state officials could not take monkey from her. However, she was caught and arrested in North Carolina, and the spider monkey will be taken to a primary sanctuary.
Okay.
That monkey needs a spanking.
I need a
It
question.
does.
I have a question.
Is it a spider?
How
or
did she get a monkey?
Spider monkey.
A monkey.
Lots of people have them.
First of all, aren't those things like on the list? Like, what do you mean lots of people have them?
That's like the new trend. Lots of people have monkeys. These
Lots of
spider
who
monkeys.
people?
Don't you watch the internet?
Better than watching the pregnant giraffe.
I don't understand people. Who has a monkey?
Because they characterize more like with a baby.
Then get a
People-
baby.
People like to put the diaper on it. People like
Yeah.
to put the clothes on it. People like to do that stuff. But they're really not the type of animal that you should have caged inside your home.
Do you
It's
remember
not.
when they made Alf wear clothes?
Ugh,
Yeah.
The show?
I can't watch
Yeah.
that show.
First
That show
couple
makes sense.
seasons.
What?
First couple
Alf?
seasons, he's walking around in the buff, and then he had clothes.
Wow.
I got.
Put thinking cap on. Go in the way back machine.
I
I
know.
remember
I-
when
I-
one season he started wearing clothes. He wore clothes to the end.
Who calls a monkey in their house? And then wait. Then you take the monkey to the store. Then you take the monkey to the store, and the monkey gets out and hurts somebody.
Mhm.
So you're told to bring it back, and you bring it back anyway.
Yeah, that taking animals to the stores nowadays is getting out of hand.
Oh,
They
okay.
got a little carriage for him and everything.
Okay, I got a problem with that.
Agreed. So moving
And
on.
then you don't tell the detective what you're doing.
And then you email the detective. I'm fleeing. I know you're after me, but I'm fleeing. Let me give this last story, and then we're going to
Yes,
close it
ma'am.
out. Only because my cameras just went out again. I don't know
Ruh-roh.
what's going on with the internet here today.
With internets.
But we're
The
just
show
gonna-
always falls apart at the end, Andy.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, just so you know.
So moving over to Powell, Wyoming. I don't know if anyone heard this story, but I think it's great. A Wyoming city has discovered its potted plants have literally gone to pot. Officials in Powell believe pranksters planted marijuana seeds in city-owned flower pots this spring,
Oh, that's funny.
leading unsuspecting city workers to water and care for them. So the Powell Tribune reports city parks and recreation staff noticed the unauthorized greenery late last month while watering the pots, including one not too far from the police station. So Park Superintendent Del Barton says workers pulled 2 plants on June 29th and took them to police. Another was found a couple of days later. Barton says workers suspect there may be others. Police Chief Roy Eckert believes the clandestine cultivating is somebody's sense of humor. After learning about the weeds in the city pots, he quickly checked the planters in front of the police station.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Come on.
I think that was.
That's
Chris,
hysterical. I have a couple here. We got to do these.
yes, go for it.
Most likely to rat me out if they were under pressure from the cops.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't even have to have any pressure.
I was going to say all of us.
Andy, you in?
I wouldn't write you out.
At least he wouldn't.
I wouldn't write you out.
But
he says I cheat on a board game, though.
Yeah. I wouldn't write you out, though.
What's the matter?
Who would I call if I needed help burying a dead body?
Me.
Joy.
Joy,
of
probably.
course.
Not me.
Yeah.
Drew's going to heaven.
Joy's going to hell.
He's too honest.
I'm stuck in between.
You
Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm a board game cheater.
That's right. Apparently, accessory after the fact. Oh my goodness!
And in the event of a zombie apocalypse, who would sacrifice everyone here to save themselves?
I would. Not.
Andy.
Thanks for voting me.
I think if we ever get to a zombie apocalypse, just take me out. I don't want to deal with that.
Okay, good, because I was really worried about that.
Okay.
I was worried about it.
Least likely to be a target for identity theft.
Least likely?
Least likely. Like, who's the most boring, I guess.
Yeah, you have to never leave your house for that to happen. Because they're going to be. Yeah.
I'd say Drew.
No, honey, I've been hit 3 times already. So don't.
But you seem like that safe, secure type. Like,
and I am.
Like you change your passwords
they still
every
hit
night.
you. Passwords are
Who leaves the smallest tips at restaurants?
Chris.
Nope.
No?
Not me.
I work for
Not
tips,
me.
so I leave good
You're
tips.
right. Okay.
I think Siobhan.
Wow.
I think so.
Bus. Cue the bus.
Yeah.
I'm a good tipper.
I was going to say,
unfortunately.
unfortunately, I'm a good tipper. Yeah.
Yeah,
Most likely to ask an overweight woman if she's pregnant.
Oh, metal.
Stop it.
Chris Metal.
No, I wouldn't ask. When in doubt, do not ask.
Chris Metal.
Do not ask.
I feel the same way. You don't ask.
Who has the best chance of cheating a lie detector test? I'm eating a lie detector test.
Oh, being on it? I think metal.
Joy.
Me.
Joy.
Joy is pretty good at it, probably.
No, but she wouldn't do it on purpose. She's by accident.
She's lying to us right now.
Yeah, by accident, she might win, but I think it's metal. Am I supposed to write this down here?
Who will be the next person to get punched in the face?
Oh, Lord.
Choose your answers carefully, folks.
Next person.
I'm ready.
Chris Metal.
I'd say it's me because I got this kid who likes to hit me all the time, so I'm gonna say it's me.
No, it's me.
Oh, he's walking home tonight?
Yeah, he doesn't know it yet, but yeah, he's walking.
Who do I call if I need help burying a dead body?
You did that one.
You did that
Oh,
one.
Joy.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all answered Joy.
We all.
Are you? So you have any more?
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Give us one more.
Who has slept with someone in the shortest amount of time after meeting them?
Chris Metal. Chris Metal.
Are you serious?
Chris Metal, Andy, and Drew.
I think it's Joy.
All 3 of you.
I think it's Joy.
Joy and Siobhan.
Joy and Siobhan. There you go.
Who will have the most divorces by the time they're 80?
Joy and Siobhan.
Joy and Siobhan.
I've only been married once, and I've been divorced for.
Yay.
No.
Joy, you're a close second.
And I'm closer to 80.
That's all I got, folks.
Awesome. Well, before we go, Andy Otero, it's a pleasure having you here again.
Thank you again.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Yes, sir.
It is what
and
you
please-
make of it.
Please come back.
It is what you make it.
Make it.
Remember, it is what you make it. Get empowered.
Show us your products again.
Here we go. We have shirts. We have Razorback tank top for the women.
Long sleeve, which long
I'm
sleeve.
sporting the long
Love
sleeve.
that color. Look at the book bags.
They come in different colors. And the backpacks.
Sweet.
Please support us and empower yourself. It is what you make it.
Awesome. Now, make sure to join us here every week for our Komen Moment. We're going to have a special guest join us each and every week and share their own personal breast cancer stories with us and why the Susan G. Komen Foundation is such a great foundation to support. For me personally, these women have become my friends over the past couple of years during our partnership, and I do anything to help them. The biggest and the best way to help is by signing up for the Walk for the Cure, which is quickly approaching. October 13th, join in on the fun, all while supporting the cure for breast cancer at Bayfront Park in sunny Miami, Florida. We'll be there, so sign up and stop by and say hi. For more information, visit KomenMIAFTL.org. Again, that's KOMENMIAFTL.org. So it was a great week again, Andy. Thanks again for joining us. You are welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime here.
Absolutely. We'll be back. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Please come back, please.
Have a great week, everybody.
See ya.
Thank
See ya.
you.
Bye.
Peace out.